Let's take a look at wrapping the wall at the windows and doors, also called inserts, and customizing the control of how far the material wraps with the parameter. So we'll go to the Home tab and place a window in this wall. If we'd like, we can highlight this tag, right-click, and pick Hide in View Category. Also, I went to the View tab and changed my graphics to thin lines so that I can better take a look at this material that will wrap at this insert. If we select the wall, pick Edit Type in Properties, you'll see that under Construction it says Wrapping at Inserts Do Not Wrap. If we change that to Interior and pick Apply, we'll see that this interior finish now wraps back around the wall at the inserts. Go ahead and pick OK. We can control how far back the material wraps at this window type. We can highlight this window and then pick Edit Family. Inside the window family, we want to go to the Floor Plans Floor Line View. We're going to establish a reference plane and add a parameter. So in the ribbon under Datum, we'll pick Reference Plane, and it really doesn't matter where it's at, someplace in here. From the window frame back. And then we'll place a dimension in the Annotate tab. We'll use Aligned from the outside face of the window to that reference plane that we just drew. Establishing a control. We can highlight then that dimension and pick the Family Types icon in the Properties panel. We're adding a parameter to that dimension. We selected the dimension, we're going to pick Add, and we'll call this parameter Custom Wall Wrap. Verify that the type of parameter is length, and we'll keep all of the rest. The group parameter is just what group it will be listed under in here. So we'll just keep that as dimensions, and it'll end up right underneath the word dimensions. I'll go ahead and pick OK, and OK again. So now we can select this dimension, drop this list down next to label, and pick Custom Wall Wrap. So now the parameter is attached to that dimension. We'll check to see if it works by selecting that original reference plane that you drew, going back to the Family Types in the Properties panel. You'll see our new customized parameter here called Custom Wall Wrap. And now if we change the number to, let's say, 4 inches and pick Apply, notice that the distance between the outside reference plane and our new reference plane changes. Let's try that again. We can make this 2 inches, pick Apply, and notice that that reference plane will move. So it's a good idea to check your parameter before you load it back into the project. Let's go ahead and pick OK. Also, we're going to select that reference plane again, and in Properties, we'll put a check mark in Wall Closure, establishing here a wall closure for that reference plane. Now we're ready to save this family as a different name to retain the original window family. We can go up to the application menu, pick Save as Family, and then we'll save it as Fixed Interior Wall Wrap, and then pick Save, and now pick Load into Project. The window that we were working with was the fixed window. We created here a fixed wall wrap window, so we'll pick the Window tool and see that when we loaded that fixed interior wall wrap window. It came with different sizes. We can then select the size that we like and place the window. Now we can select that window and go into Edit Type, Properties, and see our custom parameter. If we change the number to 2 inches and pick Apply, you'll see that the wall wrap changes for just that window. We can change it to 6 inches and pick Apply and see that the material now is following the dimensions that we have in our parameter. 10 inches will brings it right back and from the outside of the window back 10 inches. Creating parameters for your elements is a powerful advanced tool. Taking a look at in-place walls, we can go to the 3D view, go to the Home tab and pick Component, Model in Place. We're creating an in-place wall that has a unique shape and attaching a category to it. It does make a difference what category you pick because it will take on the properties of that category. We'll scroll down to Walls and pick OK. And we'll call this in-place wall and then pick OK. Here you'll see some of the same tools that we used when we were creating mass models and using the Create Form tool. We will come back to these forms in the Family Editor module when we create advanced models for our families. So we're going to create a sweep. We can go ahead and select Sweep and draw a path by picking Sketch Path. We can draw a path for our wall. We can then finish that path by picking here the green check mark. And you'll notice that there's a profile here on the path. We can select it and pick Edit Profile and then draw the profile of our wall. Using these draw tools, once you draw the profile of your wall, pick Finish Edit Mode and then pick it again, then pick Finish Model, and your wall is created. If we place a door or a window in this wall, it retains the properties of a wall to place inserts and work with wall properties, like selecting the wall and picking Edit in Place, and then selecting the wall again so that we can change the material finish in the properties to something like concrete. Pick OK, making sure that concrete does have the surface pattern and the cut pattern as concrete. We can pick OK and see that that wall has been changed to the material concrete. I can pick Finish and see the new in-place wall. Now let's take a look at stacked walls. In our 3D model, we can orbit around one of these other walls. Select that wall and then pick Edit Type and change the family from System Family Basic Wall to System Family Stacked Wall. You can then pick Duplicate and change this name to Exterior Stacked Wall and pick OK. Now pick the Edit button next to Structure and see that there are 2 different stacked wall systems. Under Name, you can select the drop down and change individual stacked wall systems based on the walls that you've duplicated and created. Notice that your custom reveal and your split region are in this list, so you can create a combination of composite walls that can be applied to your stacked wall. If you'd like to insert another portion of the stacked wall, notice that one of the stacked walls is always a variable so that when you change the others, it can be adjusted. So possibly for this top portion, we want to make it the exterior ephes on metal stud. And you have options for changing the height and the offset. But more importantly, in this list are all the different types of wall systems that we can create with different layers that will give us the flexibility of creating here our stacked walls. We can change the order by highlighting one of those stacked walls and picking up or down. Go ahead and pick OK and OK again, and then you'll see that this wall that's selected is changed to your stacked wall. When you place a wall using the wall tool, the stacked walls are in the bottom of the list underneath the curtain walls. And there's our new one here. Let's go ahead and cancel out of that and place a curtain wall. Over here in space, we can go to Wall, Tool, and in this drop down, go to Curtain Wall 1 and place our curtain wall. It's like a sheet of glass. So in the Home tab, we can use Curtain Grid to establish our grid locations for our mullions. You can place them horizontally and vertically using several different placement methods, and then use temporary dimensions to change the height of the vertical and horizontal grid. And then in the Home tab, you can place mullions by selecting the grid lines, the whole grid line, or a grid line segment, or all grid lines under the placement panel. You can also change the type of mullion by dropping the list down in Properties to select different types of profiles for your mullion. By selecting a mullion, you can change the way that that mullion breaks at the intersection, making it go continuously through or breaking it so that the other mullion can go continuously through. We can go to the Insert tab and pick Load Family, and under Doors, we can load the curtain wall storefront double door. There are other curtain wall families here. With that loaded, we're going to select the panel, and you can do that by either resting your pointer here and tabbing until you get that panel that you'd like to select, and then click, or you can select everything with the window and use the filter to uncheck everything except for curtain panel. And then in the Properties drop down, you can scroll up to the curtain wall section and pick Storefront Double Door to place your door. You can also select a panel and change the wall type. You can select the panel, pick Edit Type, and change the material. Duplicating the glass material, you can change the material name to Glass Custom, and then change the render appearance to a different glass glazing. You can pick whatever you'd like. I'll pick green and OK. There are several settings here that you can change for its glossiness and reflectivity. You can pick Apply and OK. When you change your shading to realistic, you'll see the material, which will give you an idea of what it will look like when you render your curtain wall. I'll go back to Hidden Line, and let's take a look at customizing our mullion. Similar to what we did when we customized our reveal and sweep, we can go to the application menu and pick New Family. Here in the templates, we can pick Profile, Mullion, and then draw our new profile. You'll see that this is the center of the glass. We can use lines to create our new mullion. Once you have your new mullion drawn to whatever shape you'd like to use, you can save this file as a different family name, custom mullion, and then load it into the project. When you load it into the project, we'll go to the 3D view. You won't see it under any drop downs. We need to start the mullion tool and then pick edit type and duplicate this mullion so that we can call it custom mullion, and then change the profile to custom mullion. Once we do that, we're ready to select a grid line and place our custom mullion. If we select mullion and delete it and want to remove this portion of the grid, we can select the curtain grid and pick Add Remove Segments, and then select this segment to delete it, creating a different panel size. Now in the level 1 view, we'll draw a curtain wall and then, just as you would place a mullion in the Home tab, pick mullion and then change the type to one of these corner mullions, like the L corner mullion, and select this corner. Then select here that mullion once it's placed and pick edit type to change the offset and the thickness. So maybe I should use 3 inches for the thickness and 1 inch for the offset. I can modify the corner mullion to the glass properties. The angle of that corner mullion will change automatically as the glass angle changes. In the 3D view, we can select this wall and change it to a storefront. The storefront is very similar to the curtain wall clear glass that we just created, in that you can select a panel, unlock it, and change its properties. If you select the entire storefront panel, you can pick edit type and change the vertical and horizontal grid pattern spacing along with the vertical and horizontal mullions. We looked at several wall tools in this module, and we'll come back to advanced curtain wall applications in Chapter 15 when we work with the Family Editor. We also talked about divided surfaces and custom patterns when we looked at mass modeling.